Yeah. Once again, good morning, all of you. My name is Swamy Naidu. I'm teaching Java technologies past 13 years. Okay, I'm handling Angular, React, okay, JavaScript, Node.js, these technologies. Now, in this demonstration class, yes, I will brief you what is React.js and what are the advantages we have in this React.js. Okay, so this is the concept I'm going to explain. Okay. So first of all, see what is React.js. Yeah. So it is a client-side script to implement websites. So the very basic and simple definition for this React.js is nothing but a client-side script we are using to develop the websites. That is the main point of this. And we can also call it as library of JavaScript. It's called that. It is library JavaScript. Okay. Yes. First of all, what is client-side script? What is server-side script? That we need to discuss. Now, if you take any website, yes, every website contains two phases. Okay. First one is design phase. Second one is coding. Got it. So every website contains two phases. The first phase is design, and second one is coding. In design phase, we are designing the user interfaces. The design phase, we are designing user interfaces. What is user interface? It is nothing but the front page which we are displaying to the end user. For example, if you open Chrome and any website like facebook.com, I hope. Now this is the user interface of Facebook. This user interface contains the controls like email text box, password text box, button like that. Along with that, these text messages, images, etc. Okay. Yes. So this is one design phase. Okay. So user can interact with this. He can click on this create new account, login. He can enter the text like that. He can interact with this. Okay. So like that, first of all, we are designing the screens. We are implementing the screens. Yes. We are implementing what? Screens. These screens comes under user interfaces. To work with the user interfaces, what the technologies we are using? HTML and CSS. So these are the technologies we are using to create user interfaces. Yes, what are these technologies? HTML, CSS, right? 1 second. So we are using HTML, CSS to implement the user interfaces. Next one is coding. Yes. In this coding point of view, we are implementing the business logics. Yes. We are implementing business logics. Actually, two types of scriptings we are using in this coding point of view. The first one is client-side scripts. Second one is server-side scripts. Like that, two types of scriptings we are using in this coding. Yes, what the first one? Client-side script. Second one is server-side scripts. Now, client-side scripts, if you take here, what is client-side script? The script which executes in browser. Yes. The script which executes in browser, we're calling it as client-side script. So, for example, if we observe using JavaScript or the next level technologies of JavaScript like React, Angular, etc. If you implement any logics using JavaScript or React Angular, all this logics comes under client-side logics. Okay. Yes. Next one is server-side, where it executes in web server. So if you implement any logics by using ASP.NET, Node.js, PHP, etc., all this comes under server-side scripts. Like this, we have the two types of scriptings. The first one is client-side script, and the second one is server-side script. So client-side script executes in browser, and the server-side script executes in web server. Is this clear? So if you implement any logics using the JavaScript and the next level technology JavaScript like React, Angular, etc., all these comes under client-side logics. And if you take JSP servlets, PHP, Node.js, ASP, all this comes under server-side scripting languages. Now, what is React.js? React.js is a client-side scripting language. Okay. A small diagram you can see now. For example, you're developing one website. So this is your server. And in this server, this is the web page. Okay. Yes. Now, for example, this web page contains both scripts. Like one is client-side script. Another one is server-side script. Okay. Assume that client-side script, it contains a React or JavaScript something. And server-side script can be anything. Okay. ASP. Sorry. Like that. X open the browser and he send a request on this page. Yes. For the request, response is coming here. X sends a request. For the request, response is coming here. At the time of response, what the client-side script he implemented, that is also downloading into the browser. Like this. Okay. So X using browser, right? Like Internet Explorer. Now it is Microsoft Edge or Chrome, Firefox, like the different types of browsers we have. So in this browser, the code is downloading and executes in that browser. Who is using browser? Client is using the browser. Who is using? This person we are calling as client. Client means the person who is accessing our application. We are calling him as client. That person is client. Okay. So another meaning is also there. The person who is paying money for the project development. So that person also client. But in this scenario, so the person who is accessing the application comes under client. For example, if you open Gmail, then you are the client of Gmail. If you open Facebook, you are the client of Facebook. Like that. Is this clear? Yes. So anyhow, so we have these two types of scriptings. So client-side script, the first one is client-side script, and the second one is server-side script. Is this clear? Yes. The client-side script executes where? In browser, and server-side script executes in web server. Okay, so the server-side script, if you take ASP, JSP, everything executes where? In this server. But client-side script executes where? In this browser. Is clear? Yes. So that is the main difference between these two. Okay. Yes. Now, what is React.js? React.js is a client-side scripting language. So in website development, two teams are working. One is client-side team, another one is server-side team. So client-side functionality is implementing by client-side team, and server-side team implements the API services and database connectivities like that. Okay. So first we will see what are the main functionalities we can do with the client-side scripting languages. Yes. So what are the main functionalities we can do with client-side scripting languages? That we will see. Now, if you observe here, yeah, client-side scripts we can use where? Yeah. First point is to apply dynamic functionalities on HTML elements. Yes. So client-side scripts we are using for what? To apply dynamic functionalities on the HTML elements. This clear? That's the first reason. What is the meaning of this? Yeah. By default, all HTML controls are static controls. You want to convert them as dynamic controls. Then we are taking the support of this client-side scripting languages. So I will show you an example for better idea. For that, I am creating a simple HTML file. 1 second, please. Yes. So a simple program I'm creating now. So this is one HTML file I'm creating. So in desktop demo.html I have given. For this file demo.html. So one HTML program I created and given the name here, what the demo.html in desktop I created. Don't try to understand the code. So just what is static and what is dynamic functionalities. Okay, we are discussing here. So I told you one point, first point. Now if you observe here, yes, client side scripts we are using for what? To apply dynamic functionalities on the HTML controls. That point I'm explaining to you. Okay. So one image control I want to display on this web page. Okay, this is demo.html. I want to display an image. Okay. Now here in my desktop, I have many images. One is mango.jpg. Okay. Next one is pineapple.jpg. Like that, I have different types of images here. Now I am displaying img source is equal to mango.jpg. Yes. What the image we're displaying here, mango.jpg. And width is equal to something like 100 pixels I have given. So I created one image and provided two properties. One is width property, another one is SRC property. So at the time of designing, I created this image with the two properties. Okay. What the first property? Width. And second property is SRC I have given, right? Yes. Now save this file. Where is this program demo.html? In the desktop I created. Now you can see. Yes. So this is the demo.html pro. I'm going to open this program in browser. Yes. So right click, open with browser. Now this is runtime. Runtime means what is that? What is the meaning of runtime? Okay. If the control means the web page is open in browser, then it comes under runtime. Okay. The web page is open in browser, then it is nothing but the runtime. It is clear. Now it is open in runtime. So what are the properties I have given in the design time with these properties like SRC, mango, and width is 100 pixels. With those properties, the image is loaded, right? Fine. Now my requirement is I want to change these properties. For example, if user click on this image, okay, if user perform any action, like for example, if user click here, then I want to change the source of this image. What the current source we have? Mango. That I want to display something like orange image I want to display there. By default, using HTML, can we do these operations? No. HTML is static technology. Okay. Means what are the properties we are providing? With these properties, it is loading into the browser. That's all. Once it is loaded, so then you can't change the properties using HTML, like width or SRC or any other properties of other controls not possible to change using HTML. But it is possible by using the client-side scripting languages like JavaScript, React, Angular, etc., etc. You got my point? Yes. What I'm doing here is small code I'm writing. Don't try to understand. Okay. Yes. So see the result of this code. That's yeah. So I will explain in detail about this code later. Here, the meaning is when I click on this, then just I'm executing JavaScript code for what? To change the SRC property. What the new source I have given? Orange.jpg. Okay. Yeah. That's the meaning of this. Now, if you observe this one, refresh, and if I click on this, you can see it is changed the source of this. What the new source we have? That is orange.jpg. Like that, any property of any control we can change at runtime. It is clear, any property of any control we can change at runtime using this JavaScript or React, etc. Okay, yes. So simply I use JavaScript here. Later I will discuss the same concept using React.js. Now here, what the point we discussed now? Yeah. What we can do with the client-side scripting languages. So those points we're discussing. First of all, React.js is a client-side script, I told you. Okay. Now, what is client-side script? It executes in browser. Okay. The client-side script executes where? In browser. If you want to develop any website, okay, every website contains two phases. The first phase is design phase, and second phase is coding phase. Like that, every website contains two phases. In the design phase, we are creating the user interfaces. In the coding phase, we are implementing the logics. Yes, yeah. So now again, coding, if you take, we have two types of codings here. The first one is client-side code. Second one is server-side code. Like that. Yes, client-side code executes where? In browser. Server-side code executes in web server. Okay. Now React comes under client-side or server-side. Yes, it comes under client-side script. Now, what we can do with the client-side script? Those points we're discussing. The first one is we can apply dynamic functionalities on the HTML controls. Okay, client-side script we are using for what? To apply the dynamic functionalities on the HTML control. That's the first point. Okay, yes. Dynamic functionalities means changing the properties of HTML controls at runtime. Runtime, what is the meaning of runtime? Once it is loaded in browser, so it comes under runtime. Okay. Now, if I refresh the program, again it will reload. The initial image of this control is mango. If I click on this, now it is changed as orange. Yes. That's the first point. Got it. Yeah. This is clear. And second point, before explanation of second point, just I'm going to open Flipkart. See, if you move the mouse on these images, you observe image size is increasing. Yes, this is client-side code. Okay. So now you can see this is dynamic functionality. By default, some width is there for this image. Okay. With my mouse touch, okay, that width is increasing. Same you want to do with this, you can do. Okay, now here, by default width is 100 pixels. Okay. Now one more statement I'm writing. Don't try to understand this code once again. See the result of this. This entire code I will discuss with you. Okay, when we start the program. Yeah. Now something code I have written. Now my web page refresh. mouse over see image is increased that width. Once again, see it is increased and click orange like this. So not only SRC, not only with other properties of not only image control, text box button, radio button, like that we have many controls in this HTML. I will explain those controls also because as UI developer, you should know these controls because we are working with the registration forms, login forms, etc. etc. So all these we can do by using these client-side scripting languages. Okay. Yeah. That's the first point. Second point, to validate input controls. Yes. So input controls validation point of view. Okay. Yes. We are also using this client-side scripting languages. For example, this is Facebook. Okay. Yeah. If I click on this button, this is the registration page. Now, if I click on sign up, you can see it displays enter name, surname, like that. These are all validations. These validations we can perform by using the same client-side scripting languages. Is it clear? Then the next point. Next. To execute logics. Yeah. Already I told you one point. Okay. Client-side logics execute where? In client system, browser. Client means here the person who is accessing our application. We are calling as client. So what are the logics you are implementing using React.js or Angular, JavaScript, etc. All these logics first downloading into the client system. It downloads into the client system and there it executes. That is the point of this. Okay. Now one scenario I want to show you. Yeah. For example, you're developing a bank application. Okay, you're developing one bank application. So here one page is there that is calculate EMI page. Some X send a request for this page and the response is coming here. It contains some UI controls like one text box to enter the principal amount, one text box to enter the tenure of this, and one button. What is this button here? It is nothing but calculate button. Now, if user enter the principal amount, something like 10 lakhs, yes, and tenure, something like 5 years, 60 months. When he click on this button, based on the rate of interest, okay, and some other parameters, you have to display EMI for every month. How much EMI that user has to pay. That information you need to display, right? Yes. For every month, how much EMI that user has to pay. That information you need to display. So for that logic you have to execute. You can execute either in client system or in server system. If you implement the logic by using JavaScript or JavaScript technologies like React, Angular, etc. So that logic executes where? The client system. If you implement the logic by using any server-side technologies like PHP, ASP, etc., then it executes where in the server machine. Yes, yeah. Now here concept is which one is faster in result? As client-side script is very faster because where it executes in client system only means when he click on the calculate button, immediately that code executes here only. Yes, immediately that code executes here. So that's why the result is very fast. In case if it is server-side script, when user click on this button, when request is going to the server, there that code is processing, response is coming back to the browser. For this entire request and response process, it takes some time. For this request and response, it takes some time. So that's why most of the logics we are implementing with client-side scripts only. This clear? Client-side technologies. Most of the logics we're implementing with client-side technologies because the result is very fast. You got it? Yeah. So that's the main reason why in these web applications, 70% is code is client-side script. Okay. Now, if you observe this Facebook, okay. So if you right click on this and view page source, here enter this is the client-side code of Facebook. Yes, is it implemented by me? No. Facebook developers implemented this code. For example, Flipkart, okay, if you right click and select view page source, so this is the client-side script of Flipkart, like that. Is it clear? Like that, at the time of downloading the web page, enter that code is downloading into my browser. And there it executes here, like this. Yes, that is the concept of this. Okay. And the fourth point, very important, to work with Ajax. Yes. We are also using these client-side scripting languages for what? To work with Ajax. That is the point of this. Yeah. Ajax is very important. We are using this Ajax to call the server-side API services. In companies, server-side programmers, okay, creating the API services. So those API services, as a developer, you need to access from the front-end programming. So in that point of view, take the support of Ajax. So we will discuss what is Ajax and how to work with this Ajax. Around 4 sessions we are spending with this Ajax. Okay, so in that point of view, we are taking the support of this client-side scripting languages. So these are the main areas where we are in the client-side script. So in interviews, definitely they will ask you these questions. What is React.js? Yes, it is the client-side scripting language to develop the websites. Okay. Is it for designing or coding? Yes, to implement the coding. We are using this to implement that coding. Okay. So what we can do with this client-side scripts? So these are the points you can share with them. Okay. Yes. Now come to the basic history of React.js. Who implemented like okay. Now React.js implemented by Mr. Jordan Walkie in the year 2013. Yes. Actually, Jordan Walkie, one of the employees of Facebook organization. Yes. Jordan Walkie is one of the employees of Facebook organization. He implemented this React.js in the year 2013. Is it clear? Yes. So along with some group of members, he developed this React.js. What the purpose of this code? Why he implemented this one? Actually, the main reason behind this development is he wanted to add some logics in the Facebook website. We have chart option in Facebook, right? In the chart option of Facebook, he wanted to add some logics. For that reason, he implemented this React.js in the year 2013. Later, they added more features and released this technology as free source. From then, in many websites like Instagram, Apple, okay, like there are different websites working with this React.js. Okay, it belongs to Facebook company. Yes. So if you take Angular, Angular belongs to Google. Okay, and this React.js belongs to Facebook company. So who implemented? Jordan Waki, along with the team members, implemented this React.js in the year 2013. Yes, yeah. This is the basic history of React.js. Now we need to discuss what are the features we have in this React.js compare with JavaScript as well as Angular. What are differences we have? Okay, that concept we need to discuss. So I will discuss those concepts in the next class. So before that, what the pattern we are moving? So we will discuss about that. First of all, here the prerequisites to learn this React is JavaScript. So that's why first I will start the JavaScript concepts. Around we are spending 20 days more than that with the JavaScript classes. Because without knowledge on JavaScript, you can't do anything with this React, not only React, any client-side script like Angular, etc., etc. The JavaScript is very crucial point. Okay. So that's why here, first we are discussing the JavaScript concepts. After that, we are starting the React.js. And React.js, around 45 classes we are taking. Okay. Total code duration is around 65 sessions. Okay. And every day, 1 hour session. So 7 to 8 demos, we are spending around 45 to 50 minutes. After demos, okay, 1 hour session we are spending. So that is 7 to 8 hour slot timing. 7 to 8. And you will get the Google Drive access there every day, class notes, recordings, okay, videos will upload. You can practice those things. So after registration process, you will get the Google Drive access. Okay. Yes. So initial 4 sessions, I hope they are providing demos. Okay. 4 to 5 sessions. After that, the link will change. And 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, we have classes. Okay. But first Saturday, we don't have class. Okay. Every batch first Saturday, no class. From second week onwards, Saturday also we are having the class. Okay. Yeah. This is the pattern which I am following. So you got the clarity about a bit idea on this React.js. So website development point of view, to work with the client-side coding means the script execution browser. Okay. The script execution browser. In that point of view, React we are using. Okay. In old days, programmers used to work with JavaScript. Now, in that place, they are using different technologies like React, Angular, Vanilla.js, Vue.js, etc., etc. Okay. So this is the basic information of this React.js. From your side, you have any doubts, any questions, you can ask me. Yes. You can send a message, okay, or you can unmute. Abhishek, Harsha, Kalyan. So you clear with this, all of you. So is React.js client-side script or server-side script? Sarvesh, Hemant. Is it client-side or server-side script? Hmm? You can speak with me or you can send the message. Yes, it is a client-side script. We are using this React.js to develop the web applications, right? Yes. Web applications, two types of codings we have. One is client-side code, another one is server-side code. Okay. So in companies, UA team work with the client-side coding and server-side team work with the API services, database connectivity, etc., etc. Now, browser-related all functionalities we can implement by using client-side coding. Okay. And server-side code, if you take, so database connectivity, API service calls, etc., all these implemented with the server-side code. So that is the main concept of this. Okay. So React belongs to Facebook. So Jordan Walk implemented this React.js. Yes, yeah. This is the main basic information. Okay. So what we can do with the client-side scripts? The first one is to apply dynamic functionalities on the HTML controls. Next one to validate the input controls and to execute logics in browser and to work with agents. Like that, these are the functionalities we can do with the client-side scripts. Yes, yeah. I hope you clear with this concept, right? Any doubts we have? Fine. Next class, we'll discuss the features of React.js. After that, slowly we are starting the coding in JavaScript. Okay. See you next class. You can drop now. Thank you.